to really have true love, you got to take a chance. And for you to take for you to take a chance, you really kind of have to let go of your ego and your pride a little bit.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? You are now tuned in to another episode of No Cap Allowed. I'm your host, Mello, and on this show, we don't do no teaching, no preaching. We just want to give you game on how to get ahead in life no matter where you are in life. Now, we do talk about any and everything, but most importantly, we don't do no capping. All right, now with that being said, I got a very special guest today. This is one of my best friends. I'm going to go ahead and start the applause for him right now. Listen, y'all, I want to give it up for my boy, JoJo, the one and only. What's going on, boy?
What's up, big dog? Appreciate you having me, man.
For sure, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm hot as hell. I'm over here sweating, man. It took me about 30 minutes to get this thing going, man.
It's all right. I got the Nike Tech. I ain't taking it off, so we just gonna be hot.
Man, how much the Nike Tech run you, man? How much them Jones cost, man?
Bro, too much. But I seen it, I liked it, I had to grab it. So it is what it is.
Hey, they say beauty is pain, though. What you think about that?
Beauty is bucks.
Beauty is bucks.
It hurt to spend that.
For
That's
sure.
what it is.
So, hey, Joe, have you seen the show, man, No Cap Allowed?
Absolutely.
Okay, you know what we do on the show then?
We don't cap.
Yeah, what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We caught up already.
So, Joe, for those who don't know, we actually work together.
Yes, sir.
We work at the dealership together, man. And on No Cap, man, like I said, we do talk about everything, man. But I like to implement, financial literacy a little bit if we can. So I kind of want to start off there before we kind of jump off into some other topics real quick, right?
All right.
So what is it exactly that you do at the dealership?
I am the Internet Sales Manager, also known as the BDC, and that stands for the Business Development Center.
All right. And so, like, basically what that is what?
Whenever you're online, whether you're on cars.com, victoryhonda.com, honda.com, whenever you put in an inquiry saying, hey, I'm interested in this vehicle and I'd like more information, I'll receive your inquiry, which is whatever information you gave us, whether that be phone number, email. We'll try to reach out to you, both places, if not one that you put, and try to make contact, see if we can make a deal, answer your questions. And, I am the internet guy.
So basically, like, right, all right, so you're the internet guy, right? So I'm sitting at the crib, I'm looking online, I jump on the website. When I submit my information, basically you're saying it's not really a robot, it's an actual person that's receiving that information.
Absolutely. Okay. It gets sent to us, and me and my agent do a great job. Well, she does a great job helping out the dealership and answering those questions to those inquiries and getting all that information. And hopefully it goes as far as it to make a deal. But I tell clients all the time is even if I can help you out, again, kind of like No Cap, with any financial educational steps, I'll be more than happy to do that, whether it's business with us or not. So definitely.
So all right. So what about the people, man, sitting at home just browsing and they don't want to be contacted by a person? Like, how do you deal with that situation? Because I'm sure you deal with that a lot.
All the time, if not 3 times a day, 10.
Because a lot of people don't like to be bothered. You know what I'm saying?
And that's genuine. A lot of people don't know that they're putting their information out to be reached out to. And me and Laura do a great job of understanding that. And you tell me not to contact you, I'll try to ask and dig for a little bit more to see why you were online. And if that's not what you're wanting to do, then that's fine. And I'll give you my information. And whenever you are ready to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Yeah. So that's kind of dope. So like, basically, if a person, so you're the individual or the entity, I would say, that if I don't want to go to the dealership, I can actually do everything online, essentially.
Oh, 100%.
And you would be the one that I would still be talking to a real person. I just don't have to go into the dealership.
Absolutely. And a prime example of that is the Type R that we just sold not too long ago. My guy Gabriel from Texas, never met him. Only thing we ever did was FaceTime once, but we did the whole deal remotely.
Wow. So people buy cars without even seeing them?
If you know what you want,
you
get what you want. You know, so we delivered it, shipped it, put it on a truck for him, shipped it all the way to El Paso, Texas. 13 hours one way, and I checked up on him just not too long ago again. After I knew he already got it and everything, make sure he was enjoying it, and he's absolutely ecstatic.
That's dope. Listen, I know y'all probably don't think that the person you're talking to through a computer would wear a Nike Tech and have a double cup.
I was telling somebody today that I got a switch that I can flip off and on whenever I need to.
I need to. So, all right. So, what about the people? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does the situation go? Somebody submits their information online through the computer, and you get to talking to them. Let's say you have an individual who actually is trying to buy a car. They do want their information gathered by the dealership. How does that process go? Like, for those who don't understand or realize or even think it's possible to buy a car through the internet, like, how does that process go?
Well, I'll just go through the process I did with Gabriel. He put in an inquiry saying that he was interested in that Type R. I had reached out to him. We hit it off really good, which is always a bonus. When someone's not how can I say, defensive, you're looking for that information.
Yeah,
Sometimes we got to break that barrier.
Right.
You're not realizing someone's reaching out trying to help.
Yeah.
You just think it's a tax collector at that point.
Type,
You know what I mean?
For real, yeah.
But anyway, so once we kind of got the getting to know each other out of the way, got to start on price. That's kind of the big deal. That's what everyone's online looking for is the best price.
Yeah.
Absolutely, every time. So we communicated about that. We were able to come to terms. Of course, we got to get you approved, which...
Right.
And you know that more than anybody. We got to run your credit, look at it, credit score, credit history, get you submitted to a bank, get you approved. We did all of that remotely. I sent him the credit application. As soon as it got done, it came to you, as a matter of fact. I believe you were the one that looked over it with me, made sure he qualified, which he definitely did. Once we got the numbers agreed to, I sent him pictures. I sent him a whole video walk around. Individually, make sure
a video walk around, which is you actually going out to the car,
going out to the
showing
vehicle,
him the vehicle,
exactly,
as if he was there.
The inside, the outside. This is the sport mode button. This is your touchscreen display. This is your red leather seats, etc. So I'm sorry, red suede seats in our car in particular. But either way, once I did that to him, he was absolutely ecstatic with how it looked. It looked exactly how he wanted it to. And at that point, it was just about getting it scheduled to get to him.
Yeah.
Sign paperwork, rather that be through our contract, about that more than anybody. Or, we'll have the drivers take the paperwork. They'll sign it when the drivers come back. We'll have that. We do deals remotely all the time. People never come into the deal. People who have never seen us face-to-face rather than a FaceTime, rather than our Snap sales, which is still, again, more or less a FaceTime video sent to our clients.
Right.
Other than that, you never have to walk into the dealership. We'll deliver the car to you. And I have multiple happy customers that just are ecstatic about the convenience.
Yeah, and that's crazy, man, because you used to sell cars. Absolutely. You and I both did, actually.
Yeah, we did. Man, we got through the mud together, man.
We did.
With 5 years all together, I don't know if we talked about that plenty of times. 5 years all together, we've been working together.
Yeah. So transitioning from selling vehicles face-to-face with your clientele, how is it now not being able to see these people? Like, do you get the same feeling when you sell a car? Like, is it easier? Is it harder? You mentioned breaking the barrier, breaking the ice, getting to know somebody. Like, how much more difficult is that when you don't see the person?
I think it kind of to each their own. I think that's to the personality of the individual that you're speaking to. It's always great to have that face-to-face communication.
Yeah.
It's always great to kind of be able to see a facial expression along with the words and be able to touch what I'm explaining, being able to point it out. I would personally say it's easier to have the customer there.
Yeah.
But it's more of being able to have understood the communication.
Yeah.
To have good communication of what this is, of what this feature does, being able to show it in an example,
right.
Let the customer sit down, test drive the vehicle. I would say that's easier.
Yeah.
But me personally, I enjoy the challenge of breaking the barrier over the phone. Again, kind of like how we talked about being able to switch back and forth.
Right.
Multiple people have told me that I am not who they expected to see.
Clearly.
When they came to the dealership,
right.
or rather they seen me outside of work, or
right.
we got close enough just through talking over the phone that we made a deal and added each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. But when it comes to which one's easier, once you got them sit down right in front of you, it's everything's in black and white.
Yeah.
It's easier to explain and communicate what you're trying to get across.
Yeah, see, I feel you on that, because going from selling cars to, I did the same thing you did, right? And for me, my perspective, you and I are one and the same, and we talk about that when it comes to our personalities being extroverted, and just having a phenomenal personality. So when I'm on the phone, you said it earlier. They want to know the price, right? They want to get straight to business.
Straight to it.
I'm one of those people, man. Literally, and I sincerely will ask you, how's your day going? How your kids doing? All your kids play ball? My kids play ball. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, anytime I hear somebody say I totaled my car and I'm looking for one,
Yeah.
before we talk about the vehicles,
Yeah.
did anybody get hurt? Are
Exactly.
you okay?
Exactly.
How bad was the car damaged?
Right.
To get a gauge of.
Right.
There's things more important than getting the deal done.
Yeah, 100%.
Clients tell me, matter of fact, Mr. Jay Thornton, I was telling you about that when we had to get the vehicle here for him today, that white Civic.
Yeah.
One of the first things he told me is that his mother and father were sick and in the hospital, both of them. So immediately I understand that, you're waiting on me to get you a deal, but hey, what,
Right.
we can get this done tomorrow. I'll deliver it to you. Like, Are you sure that you want to come by today to get this done? And he was like, yeah, man, so this thing's more important than us selling a car.
Right. And that's my point. Like, I think when I can physically sit down with you, have a conversation with you, you see me smile at you, you smile at me. Like, I think it's so much easier to do it that way. So initially, when I was in your position, it was a bit challenging, honestly, because I had to learn how to be myself through a phone or through a computer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was really, really challenging, but you handled it very well. So
It was actually the easiest adjustment. Which
Really?
And granted, you know me, I am who I am. But with that comes, as you said, not to sound egotistic, but an extravagant personality. We can get along with anybody.
Yeah.
That's one of our greatest assets. So.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So let's talk about credit for a minute, man. So my job basically, for those who don't know, this is my opinion and my opinion only, okay? So this is my opinion. As a finance manager, everybody has this idea that it's always, I'm the numbers guy. That's what they think. They think when the salesman presents them the numbers, I created these things. You know what I'm saying? They think I created the interest rate. They think I created the sales price. They think I created if there's a market adjustment, all this stuff, right?
Granted, they never watched No Cap, so they don't know no
They
better.
don't know no better, right? Exactly. But we're going to educate them.
That's
exactly.
why we're going to tell you how it really works.
For sure. So, they think that I create all these things, but in actuality, me as a finance manager, my job is nothing more than I don't want to say gatekeeper because that's not what I am.
You're
I'm
a
not
bridge.
gatekeeper. Yeah, I'm definitely a bridge, but it's more about bookkeeping. That's the word I'm looking for. Being a finance manager is about bookkeeping. And it's about getting the correct information, the proper information, because the salesman is ecstatic to sell a car. So he's going to mess up on your birthday, your social, the VIN number to your car, the miles on it. He's going to mess up on that, all that. My job is to make sure all this stuff is accurate, right? So I said all that just to kind of give a little insight about what I do, but we're talking about credit right now, right? When I see credit, I get a lot of questions about, how does credit work? What credit score do I need to buy a car? The main thing people always ask is, what is my payment going to be, right? And
I hear that a lot myself.
Yeah.
That's one of the first questions is how much would my payment be on?
Yeah, and that's a loaded question. Like,
Exactly.
It's not as simple as what is my payment going to be, because a lot of these people are conditioned to these buy here, pay here's, which there's nothing wrong with that if you have to do that, but if you don't, right? So, a lot of people, they'll ask me, what is my payment going to be? And I'll try to break it down to them, but I have an easier job doing that with them being in front of me. How do you handle that through the computer or through the phone when they ask you questions like that, anything regarding credit or, payment options and things of that nature?
I really do exactly what you do. It's just really harder to explain. To kind of get a little bit more detailed of what type of inquiries that we receive in the internet sales department is, they can be a simple text message to our online text chat.
Yeah.
And that exact question could be, how much would my payment be? I do my best to try and call. Some people don't answer. So if I can't get an answer through a phone call, then I'll respond through text, as they've apparently, and that's, I guess, their first line of wanting to be answered anyway is because they sent the text to our chat. So, and I'll just do what you do. I try to explain the best that I can that that's a very open-ended question.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, I could tell you, but it wouldn't be correct because I don't have the correct information to give you an exact number. Now, with that said, would you be willing to fill out a credit application, or are you able to come in today and then you can talk to our finance director, our finance manager, and see exactly what your payment would be?
Yeah.
And I look for a response, and hopefully they can understand that. But sometimes you can kind of there's an stigma to being a car salesman, to the
Right.
car dealership. No one trusts you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, is getting past that barrier of,
Yeah.
I understand the status, the reputation that the car business has created, or
Yeah.
that has been created for the car business, but it's genuinely not like that. People don't know that there's rules to protect clients. We can't, even if we wanted to, there are laws to protect clients from being quote unquote screwed over from the dealership.
Yeah. Because they really think we're full of shit.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that my interest rate is this high. It's like, ma'am, legally, I can't tell you different,
Yeah.
because that's what you qualify for.
Right. It's not us making the decision.
Right.
Your credit score basically is a representation of your credit worthiness, essentially, right? Every bank is different. Every bank is more lenient than others. Or excuse me, not every bank has their rule of thumb, right? Some banks are more lenient than others. And when you talk about people asking you, why is my rate this? Well, if it were me, I'd give you the lowest rate I possibly could, because obviously I want you to buy the car.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to be happy with it. And in a year's time, 2 years' time, when you say, hey, I want this new model, I don't want you to be upside down.
I'd love for you to have the better interest.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I would
100%.
love for you to be able to come back and be able to swap out. So I think it's important, and I'm glad that you're on the show to kind of share that thought with me, as far as, how it really works. You know what I'm saying? So going on credit, like, what would you tell somebody if they said, hey, what does my credit score need to be to buy a car? Well, like, what would you tell them? What would be your response?
My exact response, I responded to someone today about that. I said we go by multiple things,
Yeah.
not just credit score, but also credit history. The best way for me to answer your question is for me to take a look at your credit and have my general sales manager, my general manager, our finance guys take a look at it with me. They'll give me all the information, and more or less we'll be able to get you pre-approved, or tell you what you'll need to do to be able to be pre-approved for a vehicle.
Yeah. But like, no cap though, like, how would you tell somebody, like, if they say, okay, I hear what you're saying, but like, no cap, tell me what my score needs to be to get this car. Like, what do I need to, all right, if I want this brand new car, right? And you see the person's credit, right? And let's just call it a subprime. Let's just say a subprime. Subprime meaning that it's less than, we'll say 680. Let's just say, all right. Say their score is a 640 credit score, right? And they ask you, they say, okay, what do I need to do to be able to buy this new car? What do I need to do to get the best interest rate? Like, what would you tell them? Like, beyond like, let me get you pre-approved. What would you genuinely tell that person?
I would genuinely tell them the more money down that you're able to put down, the better chances that you have to get a better interest rate, because at that point you become less liable. And that's if you're just looking for the best interest rate. If that's what you're asking me, the best way to do that with that current score. If you're trying to buy a car now, you don't want to wait to improve your score, and you're wanting to go ahead and get that vehicle, well, the more money that you're able to put down, the better your interest rate will be.
And that's because you're financing less money, right?
Well, that, and you're showing commitment to a bank that you're willing to pay money up front and not drive off with a $30,000 car without putting any money down. At the end of the day, you're asking for a bank to loan you money.
Correct.
And I try to break that down as simple as I can to people.
Yeah.
If you've never had a credit card, or if you've never paid a loan back, I don't mean to just limit it to a credit card. If you've never paid a debt back of more than, let's just say $5,000, to just throw a random number out there, why would a bank just want to throw a chance at you and giving you $30,000?
Yeah.
So the more that you're able to put up front is showing your commitment, or showing your, I guess I could use the word, your dedication to purchase this vehicle, then the less liability you are to a bank.
Yeah.
The lower your interest rate possibly could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. It's especially for those who, my favorite ones are the ones that are like a 700 credit score, but they've never, what you said, they've never financed that amount of money before.
Exactly.
And they automatically assume, okay, well, I see that the special rate is 2.9% right now. How come I don't qualify for that? My score says I qualify for it, but your credit history doesn't.
Exactly.
right? And so my thoughts to that person would be, listen, you're a 640, right? If you want the new car, I can get you the new car. That's not a problem, right? I can't help the interest rate. You qualify for this here, right? With that being said, I could probably do you a favor, call into the bank to see what else, what type of leniency they will give you, depending on if that person has shown a good credit history. And not always do you have to finance the same amount that you're trying to borrow now. So, for instance, what I'm saying is say you took out a $10,000 personal loan and you paid it perfectly, right? Never missed a payment, and then you're trying to go buy a $28,000 car, right? That's $18,000 more dollars than you've ever borrowed before, right? Now, what I would also let that person know is it goes off of how much money a month you make as well. You know what I'm saying? So credit, once you check that box, now we got to check the box of income. See, a lot of people don't understand that either. Fresh out of college fresh out of college or on a parent's credit card or something of that nature, and they're trying to buy this expensive car when they have never paid that much back to a bank before. And I let them know, I say, listen, you work at Burger King, no shade to Burger King. We all done worked at fast food at one point.
Shout out Zaxby, shout out KFC.
So, you work there, you're a manager, right, doing your thing, but you only make $2,500 a month, right? You don't qualify for this much of a vehicle that you're trying to purchase outright without any initial investment down, without any cash down. So I try to explain to them, and I say, hey, listen, all right, so the bank is going to give you this interest rate right here, right? Which is in turn causing you to have this monthly payment right here, right? Well, the reason why you can't do it that way is because the bank is saying, okay, if you only make $2,500 a month, we only want you to have a payment of a certain percentage of what you make, right?
Right.
So if the payment is $500 a month and the bank wants you to be at $450, that's where that down payment comes into play. So that way you're financing less money. You're closer to the 10 that you financed before, the 18 or whatever the case is, and then they'll allow you to buy the vehicle at a lower payment, right, at this interest rate, and you're less of a risk of not being able to pay that money back.
Exactly.
So there's so much that goes into it, and it's hard to explain it to these people because unfortunately you're not taught these things when you're younger.
I was literally told to never use credit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's, if you can afford to not use credit, that's great. But the fact the fact of the matter is that the average person is gonna have to learn how to leverage their credit. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you, when is it that you learned about credit, how to use it, how to maintain it?
I didn't learn until I came to work at Victory Honda.
Yeah.
And that's not ever gonna happen with anyone that I'm close to. Mm-hmm. I won't allow them to wait that long. That makes sense. But I mean, I learned the process as I was trying to figure out the process of how to sell a car.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chase. He's been a great mentor to both of us. Yeah. He's taught me a lot. You've taught me a lot. Shout out Bradley. Love him to death. He's taught us both a lot about how to maintain our credit, how to skyrocket it back up. And not to tell your business too much or mine, but I mean, we've both been at a point where we were up here on the credit score, went back down, had to come back up. Yeah. It's just, it's a roller coaster. Yeah. And it's just part of that process. I tell people that all the time. Yeah. The first car you get may not be the car of your dreams, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
That is okay. Because the second car you get can be.
Yeah. Your first car should not be the car of your dreams, in my opinion.
It shouldn't be. Again, I'm speaking to the general average person. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Some people don't need to use their credit, and
if you out here, listen, no cap. If you out here hustling, trying to get it, making ends meet, your first car better not be your dream car because you're not gonna be able to afford it.
There you go. This is just. At least I hope your dreams are that high.
I mean,
hope a 2019 Ford Taurus isn't the hopes of what you're going for, but that G wagon.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, let's be real. The SRT Dodge Charger.
Right.
Let's be realistic. Let's just go ahead and get you a 2016 Honda Accord.
Right.
Shout out Honda.
Right.
We'll get you a good interest rate. We'll get you approved. It'll last. Has great resale value.
Yeah.
Here I am. So anyways.
But that's true.
That's what you're looking for is a car that is going to have good resale value because you're going to trade it in. Right. I mean, you should have a plan. And a lot of people don't have a plan.
Most people don't.
Hey,
have a
I need to
plan.
get a car, so you go get a car. But what's your plan with the vehicle?
Exactly.
You know? So
yeah, and I think what you're saying is definitely it's all about growth. When you're starting out, you're learning how to use your credit. Use it to the best of your ability, but use it minimally as well. So start off small and work your way up. Because if you currently, again, I'm going back to fast food. If you work in fast food, hopefully you don't plan on working there forever. If you have the mindset not to, if you have the ambition not to, if that's what you do, that's what you do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying if you have goals for yourself, dreams and ambitions, and you're chasing those, don't try to go out here and flex and go get like you said, the Dodge Charger, you know what I'm saying, with a $750 payment for the next 72 months. Why would you do that?
you're hindering yourself for 6 years.
You're hindering yourself, absolutely, knowing damn well that your insurance is going to be another damn near $200.
A lot of people don't think about a car payment comes with insurance.
Right. So
well,
now,
it should come with insurance. I mean, you're again at that
Right.
point you're just making yourself more liable.
Exactly.
And you can say, "Hey, I won't get into a wreck," but everyone who got into a wreck at one point said they were never going to get into a wreck.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be your fault.
Exactly.
God, and then God willing, this never happens to anyone ever listening to the show. You haven't experienced it, but there's a drunk driver everywhere, every day.
Right.
You know, if you're a victim of that, you need to be protected.
Yeah.
So with that said, that $750 payment that you got,
Right.
the $480 insurance, full coverage insurance that it has, all of a sudden you're out $1,200.
Quick. And we didn't even talk about gas.
And we're talking about the average person who makes $2,500 a month.
Right.
So that right there is half of your monthly income.
Right.
The average rent payment is what?
Right now,
$800, $700.
No, right now, probably $1,200 to $1,500.
So that is your monthly expenses, and you have no money left for food
None.
to take care of
None.
yourself, to take care of if you have kids, to take care. You put yourself in such a bad situation that you're hindered.
Right. And we're not sitting here saying don't buy a car. We're not saying that you got to go pay cash. We're not saying it. What we're saying is just be financially responsible.
Exactly. Be
Right?
smart. Be smart.
Because my car note is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mine is what it is.
And 3 years ago, I would have been like, hell no. You know what I'm saying?
Now, 3 years ago, I said never ever. I said never ever will this ever happen.
Right.
And then here he comes saying, "Hey, bro, the new equipment's out there. You want to go check it out?" I'm like, "Yeah, let me go look at them real quick." Man, you look great sitting in this car, JoJo. Next thing you know, my payment's up $200.
Facts.
It just is what it is.
But we took the necessary steps to be able to obtain that and be comfortable and be situated with it
100%.
to where we can afford it if we want to or we don't. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do it if we don't want to. So that's just a little tidbit on that. Man, I want to switch over. We're going to have a little fun, man. So we're going to play the game Factor Cap. You heard of Factor Cap?
Factor Cap, I helped you create it.
You helped me? Yeah, facts. Okay, let me give you that.
I helped you create it. Come on, Factor Cap. Come on, dog. Don't play. Don't no cap allowed, man.
Right.
Yes, I know what it is.
You got me.
Yes, I know what it is.
All right, double cup action, double cup. All right, so we're going to play Factor Cap. You already know what it is. You helped me create the show. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make a statement, okay?
All right.
You're going to say fact if you agree with that statement, cap if you don't.
All right.
And you came with the cap, so you came prepared.
Yep. I'm glad you peeped that.
I peeped that. I peeped
you know what I mean?
That's dope. I like it. Go with the tech.
Hey. Shout out Hibbits, Lexington, Tennessee, 381.
Stand up. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Stupid. All right, so the first one. All right. Factor cap.
All right.
Love don't cost a thing.
Dash Cap.
That's cap. That's cap.
Dash Cap. And I'm going to tell you what it costs because I don't even mean it in money.
Right.
I really don't.
It's subjective. It's whatever
I
you mean it to
don't
be.
mean it in money, but it costs one, and to each their own. You can take it how you want to. It costs your sanity, okay? And it costs your ego and pride a little bit. And I'll tell you that because to really have true love, you got to take a chance. And for you to take for you to take a chance, you really kind of have to let go of your ego and your pride a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's always risky, so it definitely costs.
Yeah.
It definitely costs. Rather not it's successful or not, it costs. Each party has to make a sacrifice for it to genuinely, for real, really work.
That was an intelligent answer.
I hit the switch.
Stupid. All right, next one. All right. The glass is half empty, not half full. Fact or cap?
That's cap.
That's cap.
Yeah, it's definitely always half full.
It's always half full.
It's always half full.
Okay.
You always have something that could always be worse. I've my whole life experienced that mindset.
Yeah.
I've always known whatever I didn't have. I never thought about me not having it. I just knew got to go on to the next day. You know? So that's definitely cap.
That's big cap. All right, so we on a cap roll right now. Okay.
Cap.
All right. The next one. It's better to be politically correct than brutally honest.
Man, that's tough.
Fact or cap?
Politically correct or brutally honest. Brutally honest.
Brutally I can't. Brutally.
Brutally honest. That's a true too. That is not cap.
Yeah,
But I would have to say that's cap, man. It can't. Politically correct is a moral set by not yourself, in my own opinion. That's the what's been accepted by society whenever I hear politically correct.
Right.
Myself and even Chase. I was gonna say my mentor Chase. I mean, he very brutally honest guy when it comes to really trying to give you advice about something. Shout out Bradley the exact same way. I think it's very important to be very brutally honest to other people as much as you are to yourself as much as you are to other people. So that's definitely more important than being politically correct.
I will say you are definitely an individual that is extremely honest. I wouldn't necessarily say brutally honest. You can be. you can be.
I'll never forget you told me that I'm so honest it's intimidating.
No, it is.
And I've asked, since you've told me that, I've asked people and they've definitely agreed with you.
Yeah.
And it's to the point I've had people say, you the realest nigga I've ever met.
Right.
And I mean that in such a genuine sense. I was riding with one of my friends one day and he was just honestly just chit-chatting about somebody else he knew. And, maybe saying too much. I don't know the guy. It wasn't no information that would have gotten passed, but he was like, man, I'm actually talking too much about it, bro. But do you want to know? And I was like, nah, bro. If you have to ask me, do I want to know? Nah, it's cool, bro. You ain't got to tell me.
Right.
And then once we got to where we were going to drink a little bit and just eat some food at the bar, he said, JoJo, I have never, ever had someone say, nah, you ain't got to tell me when I'm trying to offer random information.
Right, because most people just go along with it.
Yeah, bro, let me hear it. Let me see the tea. I don't want to drink the tea, bro.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Just like unsweet. I said, the less I say it, exactly what I say at the dealership all the time. The least I know, the least responsibility I got. So the easier my life is, the easier. I've always been away from that. So
before I ask you the next one, like, why is it so hard because most people want to say brutally honest is how you should be. Most people want to say that. But most people
don't go by that.
They don't go by that. They don't stand on that. They don't live on that. You know what I'm saying? So why is it so hard to be honest, especially when you know it could potentially damage the situation you're in, what you've got going on? Nobody wants to be looked at as a liar. Nobody wants to be looked at as nobody wants to take fault or accountability. Why is that? If everybody thinks being honest is the way to go.
Because being honest means that you have to admit to yourself that you're wrong.
I think it's that you have to be vulnerable. It could be both.
Well, in my experience, most of the time while people aren't brutally honest is because they're brutally honest halfway. And I say that because you'll be the first one to correct somebody else, but as soon as somebody can prove to you that you were wrong, it's a double-edged sword all of a sudden. It's like, bro, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hypocritical.
Yeah, so I feel like, and a lot of people want to be a people pleaser. So some people won't even be brutally honest with someone else because, one, they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And what I've always said my whole life, and I believe it's actually a saying, but I kind of just genuinely had my own mindset of it whenever I thought about it 17, 16 years old. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it to anybody. Because, and this is another running off topic, feelings aren't a real thing in my opinion. It's all about perspective. If you could be told something and be completely heart crushed about it, but as soon as you learn the details of everything else, you understand and it's not such a big deal no more. So feelings are nothing but perspective.
Yeah.
And with that comes people not wanting to be brutally honest because they're not willing to, one, hurt the other person, or they don't know how to say it. And even if they do know how to say it, they don't care to.
Yeah.
So you're right. Some people can't handle being brutally honest. And I genuinely think it's because they can't handle someone being brutally honest to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, next one, factor cap.
Okay.
Give you 9 lives or a lifetime. Or over a lifetime, excuse me. Give you 9 lives over a lifetime. Factor cap.
Give me 9 lives over a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand that question. I had to say that. And I say that, and let me say what I don't understand is because do I have 9 lives in one life, or I'm just
Nah. Basically, you have 9 opportunities at living life, or you just live life one time, and what happens.
And I remember the other 8.
Yeah, I mean it's subjective. It's however you want to magically come up with that in your head. Give you 9 lives over a lifetime. Factor cap.
I would like 9 lives.
You would like 9 lives?
I would like 9 lives.
Okay.
And the only reason is because I'm such a competitive dude when it comes to myself and my peers. I would want to up myself every time.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's a dope perspective.
Let's just say that my prime is $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
Let's just say that on my 3rd lifetime.
Yeah.
If I'm not at 10 mil by my 8th, I didn't do something right.
Got you. Yeah.
And especially if I remember, you
Yeah.
said subjective. So I'm just assuming these 9 lives I remember, the other ones, etc.
Well, it's. I mean, like I said, it's subjective. You can take it however you want to, but I think the question is designed to be more of a all right. The life you live right now, life as you know it, right? When the day you pass, right? Whenever your expiration date is, you get the opportunity to live life again, right? Now, whether you remember the last life or not, that would kind of take away from the impact of the question. So, assuming you didn't know what you did the last time, but you knew you got another opportunity to live life, would you prefer to do it 8 more times, or would you rather just live your one life and that's it?
No, I'll do it 8 more times. Life's a ride. I enjoy life.
That's dope.
It's got ups and downs, just roller coasters, but I don't regret anything that has ever happened in my life, and I speak on that all the time to younger dudes who still look up to me from high school or look up to me from just right out of high school, et cetera, whatever the situation was. Man, like I said, have to go back to the half empty, half full thing. It's always half full.
Yeah.
There's always something good going on, rather than not something bad happen that's taking your attention off the good.
Yeah.
It just, and I enjoy life. I love living it. So I'd be more than happy to do it more than once.
That's dope. I think I would take the lifetime. Let me do what I do in my life, and that's it, man. Just remember my legacy, dog.
I'm gonna have 9 legacies. See what I'm saying?
That's such a light-skinned thing to say.
I have 9 of them legacies. I'll take care of that part.
That's dope. All right, so the next one, respect over loyalty. Factor cap. Cap. It's all about loyalty.
All loyalty.
It's all about loyalty.
Respect. Because someone can respect you and still envy you, and
100%.
and envy you and want to take your spot. Let me put it like this, and I'm just going to use basic competitive sports. All right, I promise you, Devin Booker respects LeBron James.
Yeah.
But he wants to take his spot.
Right.
I promise you, Giannis respects LeBron James.
Right.
He want to take his spot. And to get off the people who made me keep using LeBron.
Now we like Bron around here.
LeBron would love to take MJ's GOAT spot.
Yeah.
Unanimously.
Right.
LeBron's the GOAT. Unanimously, he would love to take that.
For sure.
But he respect him.
Yeah.
But loyalty to me is like Scottie Pippen to MJ. Like he was the guy who purposely was able to down what his full capabilities possibly were, for the betterment of the team, which means your loyalty to the team was more important than you overcoming somebody else. So if I have that in my support group, that loyalty of willing to take an L for me to take a dub, I mean, what more can you ask to that? Just because you respect me doesn't mean that you're going to go out of your way for me.
Yeah.
Loyalty means that you are determined to go out of your way to make sure that I'm okay.
Do you think it's not possible to be loyal to somebody and not respect them?
Yeah, 100%. Because you can lose respect, but you can also regain it. I feel like once you lose loyalty, you always are going to have that thought of, are you loyal?
Yeah, I think the same way with respect though. Once you disrespect me, I don't see it the same.
Well, see,
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
though.
I'm seeing it more of not like I'm bashing you disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's just like the simple sense of we look at another car dealership, we see their top salesman. I respect you, but at the same time, I'll come over there and I'll knock you off your high horse. That's how I'm looking at it, more of a status, not an action towards somebody, I guess I could say. But you're 100% right. Yeah, once you're disrespectful to me, I mean, it's I'm always going to remember it. We move on, but we always going to remember it. But still, to answer your question in a general sense, definitely loyalty over respect.
Fact or cap? Own the business versus running the business.
Own the business for me.
So that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact for sure. Because I mean, at that point, it's you've accomplished your goal. Because everybody's goal, whenever they start a business, is to at some point, or at least I would imagine, mine would be at some point not have to do nothing, and just have that steady income rolling in, and know that that person that you have running your store, since you're the owner,
Right.
is loyal and has more than just respect for you, and is willing to make sure that your business is handled. You know,
So when you own the business, you also have to take the losses with the gains.
100%.
When you run the business, you just report the losses and you benefit from the gains.
Right. But whenever you report too many losses, your job is
Yeah, you out of there, but you didn't take those losses. The owner did.
right. But in a hypothetical sense, you could be the reason for those losses, or not even that. You could not be the reason for the losses, and you lost your job because the person above you didn't do what they were supposed to do.
But what I'm saying is regardless, the owner still takes losses. So you would still take that risk over running the business, even
100%.
if you ran it to the best of your ability. You still would rather.
100%.
I feel that.
Because myself, I know I'm going to have it handled. But
Yeah.
you know, again, that's all subjective. Like some people don't like that pressure, don't want to feel like they're stuck in a corner. But me personally, I operate best when I am.
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, like as soon as I knew I was having Josiah, as soon as Allie was pregnant, I made plays. I wasn't sitting around Metro PCS no more, waiting on my promotion that I was told I was going to get. Not to mention, I asked, would you want to go there? No. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not leaving my kid. So we that's how I met you. Here we go. Made a new career path. Went to Victory Honda of Jackson. Been there 5 years now. I got a beautiful 4-year-old, and I also got another 9-month-old that's came since, and they're all very well taken care of. So once I'm in that corner, I'm gonna prosper. So me myself, I'm gonna own that business. I know it's gonna be handled correctly because I'm gonna make sure who I hired is handling it correctly.
Right. All right, so we're gonna move on to another one real quick. Factor cap. Toxic friendship over toxic relationship.
Oh, fact. Fact. I got off the cap roll. That's a fact. Yeah. I'd rather have a toxic friend than a toxic relationship. I ain't got to go home to you.
So where you at, dog?
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
That's crazy. All right. Factor cap. You learn more with vulnerability than you do restraint.
100%. Fact. Fact. In my opinion, fact. Yeah, because once you once you take a L that really, really, really hits you, and you're able to really experience that pain, I promise you, you are less likely to let that happen again. You know. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So do you think? All right, let's just say. All right, just you're in a relationship, right?
Right.
And well, you're getting into a relationship, right? Everybody has that doubt or that wonder or that question of, is this person gonna be loyal to? Is this gonna work out? Is this gonna be the one? Right? Well, the person with restraint says, this person has a reputation. This person has a particular job, or this person is very sociable, or whatever, right? So they don't take the chance of going into the relationship. Right. They'll never know if it was gonna be good or bad.
Right.
The person who's vulnerable puts that to the side. They jump into it, whether it happens to be great or it doesn't. They still have the opportunity to learn and find out.
Right. There's no regret.
What that was going to be like.
In my opinion. Again, like I said earlier, I live my life with no regret. Anything that's ever happened, I learned from it. I grew from it. And being vulnerable is part of that. Like I'm very open to my closest people aren't my blood relatives. And I had to take a chance to see that, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm more than vulnerable when I meet somebody. I'd be more than happy to tell you my life story.
Yeah.
And hopefully you hearing it, you might be able to build yourself on it.
Yeah.
But I believe that the more vulnerable you are in any situation, the more likely you are to really learn your lesson because it sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know, like first time you ever got your heart crushed, you won't put yourself in that situation again, but that doesn't mean that you won't have your heart crushed again, but it may not be the same way, if that makes sense.
Right.
And that's kind of neither here or there. That kind of goes into a whole general sense. Of course, that can happen. There's always exceptions, whatever, but you'll never know until you try.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe the more vulnerable you are, the more lessons you'll learn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man, so Joe, you and I talk a lot, man. And we talk about a lot of the times where
we probably talk too much. I think Chase is getting tired of us. For y'all don't know, if you've never been to the dealership, we have an office outside, right beside the door,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they know if me and Jamel are out there talking that if you're coming in, you probably interrupted the conversation because we're talking about something.
if you drive down the bypass, I guarantee you done seen us standing outside talking before.
Vaping.
Don't do that, by the way. We don't promote that.
Yeah, vaping. It's terrible for you.
I'll switch the camera when he puts his down. All right, so moving on. Stupid. So you and I talk a lot, man. We talk about, you know, our upbringing, how we came up as young adults coming into young men, and you know, we often talk about the tough times that we've had to figure out on our own. You know what I'm saying? Coming out the mud, making silly mistakes, past past occupations that may or may not be legal then, but are now, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
yeah, you know, we grew.
Yeah, we grew big time, right? So what would you tell Lil JoJo back in the day? What would Big JoJo tell Lil JoJo?
It's gonna be all right. That's what I would have said, and that's just in the sense of when you said little JoJo, I'm thinking about is 13 to 16. You can say that's not little JoJo, but I grew so much from 17 to now 26. But I would tell him it's gonna be all right and to tighten up. Actually, let me rephrase that. I would tell myself to tighten the fuck up, and I would have told myself that sooner, and I would have grew sooner, you know. And there may be a couple mistakes that I made I wouldn't have had to go through because my older self would have given me that push of this ain't necessarily what you got to do, you know. But at the time, I felt like it's what I had to do. So I would tell myself it's gonna be all right, and just, you know, life's a roller coaster. Might be down, but you're gonna climb up.
You think that would have worked? Telling yourself that?
Yes. Because once I told myself that at 17, I was a completely different person. I was an asshole. I was honestly probably classified as a bully in high school. Felt like I was a jock, you know, starter on the basketball team. Everyone knows who JoJo is in my high school.
Yeah.
You go to Lexington now and you say JoJo, in the middle of Walmart, at least 10 people are going to say, what about him? Like, I mean, it's, you know, and there's multiple other people that are like that too in high school, in my grade and I went to high school with. But, man, it really took me till I was a senior in high school that I really realized that I'm not a good dude in a general sense. Like, when I mean, like, I didn't care about anybody else's feelings. I really genuinely kind of didn't care about my own. I didn't more or less care about my own future. I wasn't making steps to prepare myself for life.
Yeah.
What I was learning in school, I more or less kind of brushed it to the side, you know, not to stroke my own ego, but I'm a very intellectual person, but I didn't take school serious, you know, would have told myself tighten the fuck up. And when I told myself that when I was 17, if I would have seen a 26-year-old me telling me that, I definitely would have listened and just stayed on a better path. I wasn't gonna say the correct one, but I would have steered onto it sooner.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So, you know, obviously being African American, right?
Yeah,
Why you do that?
I'm white with black features.
Yeah, all right, get off my camera. All right. Obviously being African American, you know, the stigma behind being a black man
For sure.
is a very dark conversation to have. It's a very dark cloud over that topic, right?
Yeah, it's a sensitive topic.
It is a sensitive topic, but I think it should be sensitive to those who actually deserve it to be sensitive to.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I say that because, and me and Brad kind of touched on this topic on the first show that I had here on No Cap, when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was going on, right? I had a lot of nobody ever really confronted me about my opinions, but I could tell, you know, certain people in the Black community were kind of like, you know, looking at me like, yo, like, why you not standing up, fist balled up with us? You know what I'm saying? And it was never that I wasn't. That never was the case, right? I just am a person who believes in supporting something that I actually have gone through, been through, have witnessed, and I feel passionately about. Let me say this. I'm not saying I didn't feel passionately about that situation. I felt very passionately about the killings, the senseless murders, and things of that nature that were going on to my fellow community, right? Mm-hmm. What I could not stand on was the average Black person looking at the next white person that they saw, or Hispanic or Asian or whatever they may have been, right, and automatically put this badge of honor on of, yeah, it's our time, right? It's our time to get the respect that we deserve. That wasn't a time to glorify. And I feel like that time was so sensationalized in the most negative light that I didn't want to be a part of the fake, right? And it's funny because, you know, going back, kind of wrapping up what we talked about, I had my own difficulties growing up. Now, by no means did I have a hard life. Like, my mom was amazing. She is amazing, right? You met my mom.
Love Mama White.
Love her. She's amazing. Were we the richest? No. But did I have what I needed? Absolutely, right? That's just like I tell my kids, like, we live in this beautiful house. You ain't got to worry about nothing. All you got to do is go to school, get your grades, come home, and all of that. So, but I do teach them, listen, the world is a crazy place. When you go out there in it, all I can do is hope that you take the tools that I've given you and use those to build your own empire, right? Racism exists, but not everybody is racist.
100%. And it'll never go away.
It'll never go away.
It'll never go away. And there's a lot of sensitive subjects, sensitive take.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Black folks that are racist.
Everybody's racist. Every color is racist.
With no justification to it.
Yes, right. And
like,
that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah, I mean, it just like how, for an example, my mother was raised to be racist. Mm. And to the extent that she didn't even know that it was wrong.
Yeah.
My mama tells me this.
Real thing.
My mama tells me this all the time, has told me this story so many times. And, you know, she tells me because I'm biracial.
Right.
She ended up falling in love with a Black man. Mm-hmm. And that's how I came about. Mm-hmm. And her family didn't like it.
Yeah.
Just to be genuinely honest at first. And now I don't mean that in any wrong way. I love my family to death. My blood family, love them to death. They have definitely taken me with open arms. Mm-hmm. They treat me the same. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, one of my mama's best friends in high school was Black.
Yeah.
And she just was joking along with some other white friends, calling her the N-word.
Yeah.
And my mama genuinely cried to me telling this one time. Mm. So that's how I know that she was so sincere about how she felt about it. She felt horrible once she realized how much she had hurt her friend. But of course, her friend had been, at that time, going through racism her whole life. And then she finally has a white friend who she doesn't feel like is looking at her or would call her out of her name that way. And exactly what she did as soon as there was another crowd to do it. Yeah. So to go to that, a lot of people just go with the crowd.
Right.
Like you have no justification. That goes for white or Black. You have no justification. No white person has individually went out of their way to affect you due to your color. Now, that's not everybody.
Right.
I'm not speaking as of everybody.
Right.
But just to add on to what you're saying, like you said, there's a lot of false
Entitlement.
entitlement.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should speak on racism if you've never experienced it. Have you?
Right.
Like genuinely, have you really experienced racism? Not some white girl and you getting into it.
Right.
That's not racism.
Right.
To an extent. Maybe y'all got into it because she didn't like your attitude, but
Right. Yeah.
maybe you didn't like her because of her attitude. But if there's not a genuine race
Yeah.
motive behind it,
Yeah.
and you've just taken it as I don't like that white girl, I don't like that black girl, all that them white dudes, them yee-yees, all them thugs. Like genuinely at that point, you're just putting people into a category because that's you're apparently with the other crowd.
Right.
You know, some people just go with the crowd and they genuinely have no reason why. They don't know.
Yeah,
They
you're
would
right.
never knew better.
Right.
So
And that's my whole point with the whole movement, man, is that I understand what the movement was designed to do and what it was designed to accomplish. I support that, right? But what it turned into is what I strongly disagree with.
Right.
And that's what I couldn't stand up and support. Yeah. So saying all of that, everything that we just said, you're biracial as you just mentioned. You fit in with the whites, you fit in with the blacks. Your children are biracial as well. How was it growing up for you being biracial and having to, did you ever feel like you had to pick your lane?
to an extent, yeah. And it made it easier for me being white and black. You know, like I said, I've said it 3 or 4 times already through this podcast. I can flip a switch. And part of that just came with, I went to a very diverse school,
Yeah.
elementary school, middle school. So, you know, I knew how to hang out with one crowd. I knew how to hang out with another. My first high school I went to my freshman year was 97% white. I was the only black person at the school who titled themselves and act like a black person,
Yeah.
whatever that stereotype is. Okay.
Right.
You know, pants sag, had a little ghetto accent to me, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I was proud. I kept that that's who I was at this school. Okay. But even then, a lot of them welcomed me with open arms. And did I have a couple racist issues? I mean, of course. But I never once in my mind was like, I can't stand white folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it was just at that point, you're detrimenting yourself at that point. Because I haven't personally done nothing to you. You're getting yourself into your own feelings to something that I do not care about.
See, that's interesting because my stance is, as of this moment right now, I cannot think of a time where I felt that someone was being racist towards me. I'm sure there's been times where I didn't know it was going on. Somebody was thinking something in their head when they saw me or whatever the case is. Right. But I cannot think of one time where someone was actively being racist towards me. I've been racially profiled before, but for me, that's a little bit different because maybe it was the way I was dressed. Because like you said, I could flip the switch. I could put the suit and tie on. I could put the jeans and the hat, all that on, right? But even then with that, once I opened my mouth and I spoke with some intelligence and I had some sense, immediately their switch went off like, and they didn't even, I became gray. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't black or white.
Right, yeah. It's just, you're a human.
I'm a human.
Right.
And it's so funny because the business that we work in, right? We work in the business where you see all type of different races, genders, age groups, everything. And it's so unfortunate, and I say it's unfortunate because I am black, right? But it's unfortunate that a majority, and this is my opinion, my experience, a majority of our clientele that has the good credit, that has the good job, that has the stable, life, happens to be white or of other race, right? I say it's unfortunate because I would like to see more of us in there.
Right.
Now, there are several of us that do well, and there are several of us that come in and buy cars, and there's several of us that, fit in that category that I'm talking about. But the unfortunate part is that when I look, and I'm grateful, but when I look at my life right now and I sit back and I say, man, how did I get in this position, man? I'm blessed. Like, what road did I take to get to this point that I'm at? Like, what did I do to deserve this, right? I'm grateful for that. But then I look back and I say, had I not had this opportunity, I'd be doing the same thing that I was doing before I got here, trying to figure it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. And it's so unfortunate because, and I'm gonna touch on it. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna move forward. But when going back to the whole Black Lives Matter thing, going back to being black in America and all that kind of stuff, I feel that, right? I feel that, but I also don't feel it because I've gotten to where I'm at professionally by white people.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. 100%. So I mean, I'm like I said, we're two the same. I mean, I'm pretty much taking the same path as you,
right?
And your bosses and my bosses, and they've given us both an equal opportunity as much as they would have the next person.
Exactly.
Now everyone's not in that situation.
Not everybody's in that situation.
And that again is what you're saying is that's unfortunate. I would love to see more African American individuals come in saying, hey, I don't want that.
Right.
But
the point is that we understood the situation we were in. We understood and accepted and chased the dreams that we wanted, right? We went after those things. We made the necessary adjustments. Nobody's saying that you got to kiss nobody's ass. Nobody's saying that. But what we're saying is there's a place and a time to do certain things, right? And it used to bother me so bad because, I joke all the time. I'm the whitest black guy you'll ever meet, right?
You definitely are.
Right?
And y'all are looking at me. Don't let it fool you.
and it used to bother me, not in the sense like it used to hurt my feelings, but it used to bother me in the sense of like, nah, but I'm black though.
I'm a nigga too.
Yeah.
No, I feel. Yeah, no, I do.
Like, especially when you piss me off, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I had to go back and as I grew, and I said, you know what? Shit, my mama raised me to be the way I am because she wanted me to be successful.
100%.
She wanted me to understand what it took to be able to be the owner and not run the business.
I got a hot take. Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't.
Man, give it to us.
And there's exceptions to everything. But I feel like a lot of people use race as a lack of opportunity as an excuse. Your personality, your mouthpiece, your how you present yourself, and a first impression is very important.
Right.
Very important.
Right.
Especially when it comes to claiming an opportunity. You don't get too many second chances when it comes to taking advantage of an opportunity.
Right.
Because if you don't do it right the first time, that opportunity is gone. And now if you're lucky, you'll have that opportunity come back up. But someone's resume could have not been as good as someone else's. And I've personally seen this. And that's why I say there's an exception. I'm definitely not putting the whole African-American group into one pool. That's not what I'm doing.
Right.
But I've seen people complain that they didn't get hired at, let's just say, Walmart. Okay? But someone that they knew did, and they go, yeah, they don't want to hire no more black folks. Or they say, yeah, the person who interviewed me, I could tell he was racist.
You hear that all the time.
Well, are you sure? Maybe. Okay. Again, I'm not saying that's everyone's situation. Yeah,
but was it though? But was it though?
Could you have answered a question better?
Right.
Could you have possibly not have as much experience in this particular department as this other person did, maybe at another store? Because you don't know what their resume is.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
Now, again, full exception, or there are exceptions to that scenario. Sure, there are racist bosses. I'm not gonna say probably anything. There are racist bosses.
100%.
Okay,
Black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was gonna get to.
Right.
And now we get to a point where, statistically speaking, there are way more white people than there are black people. And we can just use Jackson. Let's just say or in Tennessee, whatever, in the world, whatever, right? In America. So with that comes, you're going to statistically see more successful white people. You're going to statistically see more white people hired at a particular place than you are black people. Now, is that okay? Maybe not necessarily, but at the end of the day, I'm a numbers guy. That's what we do. Numbers are numbers. You can't run from numbers.
Yeah.
Like a percentage is a percentage, and an equation is an equation. It just is what it is. You can't run from that.
Right.
And when it comes to did I do what I really should have done to get this job opportunity, and it fails, first thing people go is find an excuse that's not themselves. Again, goes back to what we talked about earlier. People can't be brutally honest with themselves. Maybe you weren't the most qualified for this. Maybe you should have, and again, this is stereotypical. Maybe you should have wore a belt that day.
Yeah.
Instead of wearing the oversized pants, rather or not you mean for them to bag. Some people got hand-me-downs. I understand why some people look the way that they do.
Right.
But you couldn't have, hey, so-and-so, you got like another t-shirt that I can wear to this interview? Hey, so-and-so, I know that you used to work here. What are some of the things that they look for? Like, what are some of the jobs that you had to do?
Yeah.
So whenever he asks me certain questions, I can be a little bit more prepared, and like I said, it's a spicy take to say as especially a half African American. Like, I can be looked at differently for saying that, but it's genuinely true. Some people want to pull the race card as an excuse to not blame themselves for what opportunity they messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, man. I think to kind of piggyback off of that a little bit, I think the actual issue is that we are afraid, and when I say we, honestly, I'm talking about everybody, no matter what you are. But if you've ever had the idea of, I didn't get this opportunity because of the way I look, I honestly think that you need to reroute your mental, right? And it's essentially kind of what you're going off of. You need to reroute your mentality, because typically, you said this term earlier, following the crowd, right? All right, if we're in high school and you work at Wendy's, and it's my time to get a job, it's my first job, I'm gonna follow you to Wendy's.
Hey, bro, let's go work at Wendy's.
Let's go work at Wendy's.
We can work together, bro.
We can work together.
Hey,
right?
what hours do you work? I'm gonna make sure that I ask them I want the same shift. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
But instead, think about it like this. I'm just gonna use a name here. Justin, right? His dad owns a family business. I'm friends with Justin too. Why not go work at a place that's outside the box, right? Learn how Justin's dad got this business. Learn how Justin is being taught how to manage his money, manage the business. Then you take all that knowledge, you go to school, you open your own business. Because here's the thing, we get stuck at Wendy's. We get stuck at the mall. We get stuck at TJ Maxx. You work at these places for 2-3 years. Over that course of time, you get a $1.50 raise over that time period. Whereas if you just thought outside the box and you said, okay, this is, and first you got to know what you want to do in life. And these are the people we're talking to. But if you have a goal, you have to say, okay, listen, I know I need a job, right? But there is nothing wrong with me working somewhere other than the norm, which is your fast food restaurants, your quick place, all your quick places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gas station.
Gas station.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. You can go work at Walmart and work your way up. I know a guy right now.
Oh, I do too. The guy who hired me when I went to work at Walmart, super cool guy. We're still friends, and he continues to climb up the chain.
Same thing with, I know a guy that works he started working at Kroger as a bagger. Now he runs 2 or 3 Krogers himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my point is honestly, it doesn't matter what job you work at, But when you go into a job, understand where the ceiling is. That's my point. Yeah. Understand where the ceiling is. If you say, hey, bro, I'm working at Wendy's, I can get you on, I'm already knowing my ceiling is very low because whoever's the manager there has been there 10 years.
Yeah.
They're not going nowhere, right? Whereas, again, if I go over here and work with Justin and his dad, the lawn care business, whatever the case is, I might be cutting somebody's yard that works at a bank. And they love how I talk.
You never know who's watching.
You never know who's
watching. And I am a prime example of that. G found me at Metro PCS.
Right, exactly.
Him and his family, his wife, and his 2 boys came in to get phones for the boys.
Yeah.
And I sold him to switch him and his wife. So I sold them 4 phones instead of the 2. He literally handed me his business card and say, hey, I'm the general sales manager at Victory Honda of Jackson. You should come work for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even take the job offer at first. Yeah. Remember, that's how Dontel and Perez got up there.
Right.
They got up there, and that's another thing too. Why loyalty is such a big deal to in a bigger sense. But 2 of our best friends got their first jump start on being successful in life because of an opportunity I had. And I don't mean to take them away like they didn't prosper on their own and they didn't do their own thing.
That's what it's about.
But he came to me, offered me the job. When I told him no, he said, well, if any of your people that you know and think talk or like you enough, send them my way.
Yeah.
And I did that. And when it was my time to make that decision, and as I spoke of earlier, Allie got pregnant and told me that she's pregnant and we're going to have a kid. Hey, G, I'm going to come down there and work for you if you'll still have me.
Yeah.
And he took me in with open arms. G was a great mentor to me as well.
Yeah.
Until he decided to do other things.
Yeah.
And I'm highly appreciative of it because here I am still.
Yeah.
And I've moved up. I
Absolutely.
understand the ceiling, and I've taken a step up from being a salesman into management with you, Bradley, Chase, and Mike, and I love it to death. So you never know who's watching. You never know when that opportunity will come.
Exactly.
So why not always be that great first impression?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was. I was a great first impression to him. I had tattoos. I was still had my pants sagging, but we got past that. G's G. He's not a racist guy whatsoever.
No,
you know what I mean? So he didn't look at me.
Shout out to G, by the way, man. G, if you watching, bro, we love you. We miss you, man.
It's all love this way. All love over here. So, but and God bless him for giving me that opportunity that I'm still prospering off of now, and I still have room to grow.
Yeah.
And my family is fine.
Yeah.
And they will be.
Right. Absolutely.
You never know who's watching.
Well, look, man, I feel like we can keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, man. We already been rapping for an hour, bro.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, you off tomorrow?
I am off tomorrow.
Oh my God, I gotta go to work without you. What?
Yeah, man.
No, bro. For y'all that don't know, we normally off on the same day, but I have an appointment for my arms done with a tattoo.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
No, went Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm missing Thursday instead.
So I'm
gonna have a long day tomorrow.
I'm
gonna have a long day tomorrow.
But look, we're gonna wrap this up, man. But I'm gonna ask you one more question before we get up out of here on Factor Cap. Broken content over rich and restless. Factor Cap.
Rich and reckless. No, I'm asking. I'm asking. I didn't answer.
Broken content over rich and restless.
Restless. Oh, restless. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, broken content.
Fact.
Broken content.
That's a fact.
Yeah, fact for sure. We
Okay.
definitely got off the no cap or the cap part. We definitely got off. All my answers been fact since, but no, definitely fact. I'd rather be happy. Money's never ran my life. Even though we talk about how to be financially stable, how to make those right steps, it's never been more than my goal to take care of who I need to take care of. Early at the very beginning of the podcast, I threw out a random example of a car being a G-Wagon. That's not my dream car.
Yeah.
My dream car is whatever is nice enough that I hop out of and they go, damn.
Which you have that.
I have that now,
as hell.
and I'm super content. And I don't need money to be successful. I don't need money to be happy. I've never had it when I was growing up, and I would say an averagely happy guy. And I was just the other half was my own mindset that I wasn't pleasing of. Is money great? Do I love being able to buy what I want to buy? 100%. But I mean,
look at the Nike Tech.
I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't need it to be happy at all.
Yeah.
I'd be more than if my family was taken care of, if everything in the world that was a necessity to live was free,
Yeah.
I would. I'm not saying I'd be lazy and just eat off of it, but I would be content. I wouldn't. I don't need to be restless to be happy.
Restless. Facts, bro. Well, look, Joe, I love you, bro. I sincerely appreciate you stopping by, man.
Sure. Love
I
you too,
wish
bro.
you peace and prosperity in your future endeavors, bro. And with that being said, y'all, we out.
No cap allowed.